morning, everyone. Namaste. I'm going to call in Archangel Michael to cleanse the space, to clear out all negative and lower vibrations from our mind, body, and soul, home and hearts, placing the white light of protection on us with his blue seal. And we are going to be reading more out of my Edgar Cayce on Atlantis. And we are going to be reading on the preface portion of it. States, the 6 books which have been written about him, it says, who is Edgar Cayce? The 6 books that have been written about him have totaled more than 1 million in sales, and more than 10,000 other books have been devoted sections to his life and talents. He has been featured in dozens of magazines and hundreds of newspaper articles dating from 1900 to the present. What was so unique about him? Depends on your point of view. A number of his contemporaries knew of the waking of the Edgar Cayce as the gifted professional photographer. Another group, predominantly children, admired him as a warm, friendly Sunday school teacher. His own family knew him as a wonderful husband and father. The sleeping Edgar Cayce was an entirely different figure as a psychic known to thousands of people in all walks of life. Many had cause to be grateful for his help. Indeed, some of them believed that he alone either saved or changed their lives when all seemed lost. The sleeping Edgar Cayce was the medical diagnostician, a prophet, and a devoted proponent of Bible lore. In June 1954, the University of Chicago held him in a sufficient esteem to accept PhD thesis based on a study of his life and work in the thesis, and the author referred to him as a religious seer. That same June, the children's cosmic book House of Mysteries bestowed on him the impressive title of America's Most Mysterious Man. Even as a child on a farm near Hopkisville, Kentucky, he was born on March 18, 1877, so he was a Pisces. Edgar Cayce displayed powers of perception which seemed to extend beyond normal range of his 5 senses. And Pisces are often very psychic. At the age of 6 or 7, he told his parents he was able to see and talk to visions, sometimes relatives, who had recently died. His parents attributed this to overactive imagination of a lonely child who had been influenced by the dramatic language of rival meetings which were popular in the section of his county. Later, by sleeping with his head on his school books, he developed a form of photographic memory which helped him to advance rapidly in county schools. It says country. This faded, however, and Edgar was only able to complete the 7th grade before he had to seek his own place in the world. Wow. In 1898, at the age of 21, he became a salesman for a wholesale stationery company. About this time, he developed a gradual paralysis of the throat muscles, which threatened the loss of his voice. When the doctors were unable to find a physical cause for these conditions, hypnosis was tried, but it failed to have permanent effects. As a last resort, Edgar asked a friend to help him to re-enter the same kind of hypnotic sleep that he had enabled him to memorize his school books as a child. His friends gave him the necessary suggestions, and once he was induced trance, Edgar came to grips with his own problem. He recommended medication and manipulative therapy, which was successfully restored his voice and cured his throat trouble. So I'm going to leave it at that, but that's crazy. He used to sleep on his books, and he developed a photographic memory as a result of it. I'm going to have to start sleeping on some books. I don't know about you, but We'll definitely learn a little bit more, because I like to learn where it stemmed and where it came from, not the product of who everybody knows is the famous person, because I feel like you can learn a lot and relate a lot to it, because already I feel like I relate a lot to it. So, you know, if you've always felt like you were kind of psychic, this is definitely something that might help and aid with that. It sounds like he was a medium if he was communicating with the other side. And again, just because you're psychic doesn't necessarily mean you're a medium. So just keep that in mind. So I love you all. Have a blessed day, and namaste.